We're going to Texas for UFC Texas, episode 16 of Ed2Shed. That's right. We're going villain mode. Ed Gang taking the W. Steve had a rough week. Why don't you tell us about it, Steve?
Man, I don't really want to. I did have a very rough week. We were talking about if the Ed wins, man, somebody's had a bad week, and I think that goes down for both of us. But I've never gone as bad as 1-5 before.
I went 2-3 as the winner this week. That's what I like to call going villain mode. 2-3 as the winner, and yeah, you went 1-5. Let's pull up the recap.
Let's jump right to it.
Ed2Shed, UFC on ESPN 37. We're in Austin, Texas. Going to watch a featherweight matchup. Last week, pay-per-view night, Yuri Prochazka, new champion at 205.
Our boy Glover Teixeira couldn't get it done by sub. He did his best, had Yuri wobbled, pulled guard, trying to look for that neck. Didn't make it happen. Thanks for the effort, Glover, trying to get that extra value by sub, but come on.
It was a crazy fight. A lot of grappling, a lot of reversals. High-intensity fight all the way to the very end. This is a final 30-second finish.
Thought it was going to be over long before then. Probably should have been from both parties, but what a crazy fight. We didn't do good, but I think I had a good time just watching those fights because that was a good card.
It was a good card. Taking it into this week, 14 fights. First-round picks this week are Cody Stamann and Adrian Yanez. Stamann, a very heavy favorite. Eddie Wineland coming off a loss. It was a first-round loss to Sean O'Malley, and then another loss in the first round to Castaneda. Secret Ed there.
Yeah, so we have Eddie losing again, probably in the first round to Cody. So that's going to be my first pick. You'll take
I just snatched up Adrian Yanez. You grabbed Ricardo Ramos, and then I took Gloria de Paula, just taking the first four right off the top of the odds.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm looking down the list of favorites here, and I like a lot of them. Of course, they're all 134, 138s here, but the only one that I was really avoiding was Gloria, all the way up until maybe like Albert, something like that. So I was good to just take Ricardo here.
You grabbed Phil Haas, and then I took our main event headliner, Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, I like Phil Haas here. I mean, he's a good, talented fighter. Deron Wynn probably fighting out of his comfort level here, fighting out of his rank level here. So I'm just going to take Phil with this one here.
Now, was Smells Tells? Was he fading Phil a little bit?
Not really fading Phil, but I think he must have got burned. I'd say Smelly probably lost some money when Phil Haas got knocked out by Chris Curtis. But
it happens.
I'm feeling
you can get burned. Calvin Kattar, he got beat up for 25 minutes by Max Holloway, and then he said, you know what, I'm going to do that. So like 364 days later, he comes and just styles on Giga Chad. Looking forward to seeing him get another fight. It was tough having him out for the year, but he had to just take some time off after that performance Holloway put on against him. Didn't like the value on Holland or Dawkins. Thought they were priced a bit too expensive. I grabbed Calvin Kattar. I think he's well-rounded. I think he can get the job done. I grabbed Jasmine Jasudavicius. Not a lot of data on either fighter. She was just a super heavy fave, so I figured I'd grab it just for value's sake. Do it for the draft.
Not a bad pick. But I like Kevin at 138. I don't think I'd take him at the gambling picks here, but I'll definitely take him in the draft. Nothing wrong with the Kevin Holland fight. It's Kevin Holland week, buddy.
Look for the fashionable photos he puts up on Twitter. Follow us up on Twitter at Shed2Ed.
Yeah, I took Kyle Dawkins here, 138. Not going to take him like this at this price with the gambling picks, but I like him at this point in the draft. Of course, I do think that Kyle's going to win.
Next up, took Damir Ismagulov. Been some hype about this fight. Damir Ismagulov is 20-1. He is 4-0 in the UFC. He is the unstoppable force. And Guram, the Georgian Viking, is going to be that immovable object. He is coming off a 1 win in the UFC over Mateusz Gamrot, super high-level talent. This guy is 11-2 in his pro career. I'm looking forward to this fight. This is like a sleeper hit on the card here. If you haven't heard about this one, Guram, the Georgian Viking, taking on Damir Ismagulov.
It's probably lost in a bit of a stacked card here, but this is going to be a very high-level fight. Looking forward to this one as well.
You're looking at Court McGee, been a name wreck. I've seen him fight a couple of times, and you grabbed Gregory Rodriguez.
Yeah, we're getting down to the point here now. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be taking. I kind of like Julian Marquez here, but I like Greg Rod in the position here in the draft. And we got the only pick'em, with which the lines have changed a little bit. It's only like 1.8 and 1.98 or something like that now.
You're right. The line has moved a little bit. Court McGee's about -130 now instead of being -110. Last two picks of the night, Albert Duraev, Joe Lauzon. What made you lean Duraev?
Wasn't really sure. I mean, I'm looking at this fight, and I like Joaquin Buckley. I just didn't want to take him really in the draft. So that was pretty much it. And I was looking at the Joe Lauzon fight against Donald Cerrone. I don't want to take Donald Cerrone, so I'd rather just take Albert Duraev as my last pick in the draft, and I'll probably just switch that around with Joaquin Buckley in the gambling picks.
This fight is rescheduled. Cowboy was puking, food poisoning. I don't know. I took Lauzon. Just go look up the episode where I said why. I'm fading Cowboy. He's like, or 0-5 with a draw that turned into a no contest. He's skidding hard.
I mean, Joe Lauzon, I don't think he's even fought since late in 2019, but Donald Cerrone hasn't won since then. He squeezed in 3 losses since Joe's last fight, but I wouldn't say he's exactly keeping fresh or keeping sharp here. So
He's getting knocked out by Gaethje, knocked out by the notorious Conor McGregor. You may have heard of him. He's losing fights to Tony Ferguson. He's fighting to a draw with Nico Price. Just not great performances. I don't know. It's not been pretty to watch as a Cowboy fan these last couple of fights.
now Joe is pretty old himself. I think he's up about 38 or something now. So this is old man, old man. This might be a retirement battle here. But Joe might be a bit more fresh, might be a bit more ready for this one, I think.
We got Kyle Dawkins on the bottom of the prelims, man. This is a stacked card. We got Phil Haas relegated to the nerd limbs. We got our boy Eddie chilling down here with Cody Stamen. Fun trio of fights to kick off the card.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Kyle Dockhouse, Roman Dolidze fight, that one's going to be a good grappling match. Kyle's got some skills down there. Roman's going to be looking to do some wrestling of his own. So that one should be a pretty exciting match there. Phil Haas got some power at middleweight there. So we might see a KO in this match here. And then we got Cody at the minus 400. We'll see if Eddie makes this one a battle. If not, maybe he's still got that mustache. That'll show out.
Second page of prelims, Gloria DePaula. I just grabbed her early based on the odds. I know very little about this matchup. And Ricardo Ramos, you grabbed really early, so I never even got to look into him either. And then the Court McGee perfect pick'em matchup. Here they got him at plus 110, but I've seen him slide to like minus 130. So the line is still shifting on McGee Wells. Try to get your favorite on the plus money if you can.
I was hearing early stuff about Maria Oliveira being a live dog here. I was getting that from a couple of different sources, so I figured I'd just fade Gloria on this one here.
Capping off the prelims, Jazzy Jazz and the Adrian Yanez fight as well. Women's flyweight, men's bantamweight.
Yeah, this one should be pretty exciting here. We got Tony Primetime Kelly with the feature prelim, almost on that main card, almost in the prime time.
Gonna be some spice on this this fight. Is that what you're saying? Look for some excitement here.
No, what I'm saying is because he's not fighting in prime time, he stands no chance in beating up Yanez.
And moving on to that main card, Marquez Rodriguez, Ismagulov fight, hyping that one still. And we got Joaquin hype train Buckley. Looking forward to seeing that fight. Plus 170 is a spicy money line for him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, when I look at the matchup between Joaquin Buckley and Duraev, I don't really get why the line is the way it is. I can understand some people favoring Duraev. Yeah, so Duraev's last loss was in 2014, but he's only fought once in the UFC here. Joaquin Buckley is in and around. He's making a name for himself in the UFC. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be a very tough opponent for Duraev. I think that this might be where Duraev's streak might end here. And Joaquin Buckley at plus 170, I think that's a very good price for him. I'm going to jump all over that one here. Kicking off the main card, we have the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I think I'm going to be looking for him too, man. Sandwiched between them, we got a very high-level fight between Demir and Garam.
I'm looking forward to this half of the card. It is a stacked up card, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Stacked up card, man.
Stacked up card. And then we got the guy, Mr. Big Mouth, Trailblaze to the top, however you like to call him, 5-0 in 2020. Then he got wrestled a bit, decided to move down to 170. You know I'm talking about Kevin Holland, baby. Minus 220.
I know.
That's hype train money.
Yeah, that is hype train money. I mean, this is probably an accurate reflection of him moving down in the weight class, going down to 170. I mean, if you look at his frame, he's a tall, lanky dude, but he can support 170 very well. I mean, with a weight cut, he's going to bring a lot of power to that division. Tim Means going to be lucky if he don't get knocked out here. Now, I'm not saying that Tim Means is not a good fighter. He is a good fighter, but Kevin Holland's going to be a different level here now. I think he's going to actually compete at a high ranking here at 170.
I think Kevin Holland is really an enigma, and I look forward to seeing him in the cage.
Besides that, we got the retirement battle between Cowboy Cerrone and Joe Lauzon.
I'm looking forward to betting on this fight. We're going to do a little breakdown, have some fun with this one.
Well, this one's kind of all over the place here now. We're going to have a look at the methods of victory here for each of these fighters here. We're going to break that down by odds. I mean, I still don't understand why Cowboy is favored here. Maybe it's just name alone is going to do it, but money to be made on Joe, I think.
Main event, I'm looking forward to this one. High-level fight at 145. You think it's going to go short this week?
I think it's going to go short, and that's saying something for a featherweight bout. Guys at 145 here, you're not going to see a whole lot of knockout power at this division here, but Calvin Kattar, great striker. Josh Emmett, absolutely dangerous as well. I think one of these guys is going to get knocked out, so look for this to be swanging and banging, and someone's going to hit the mat.
Next up, we'll do the odds breakdown. We'll take a look at Cowboy Lauzon.
Joe Lauzon up at plus money there. Plus 130 it is right now. But going down a little bit, Joe by KO, Joe by points, Joe by sub. These are all live right here. They're all possibilities. I like Joe by KO a lot. I mean, when I was watching Cerrone's last fight against Morono, he didn't look like he would come back. You know, he would get hurt from some punches and he wouldn't be able to recover. And I think Joe is going to be able to bring that energy. From what I've seen from him last, he looked very energetic, very present and capable. And I think he's basically just going to be able to wear down Donald as he goes. That being said, I don't know if he's going to work his way towards a KO. I don't know if he's going to work his way into weaseling in a submission here, taking the back, and instead of ground and pounding him, just taking the neck. It's possible we see this fight go to decision there as well. We see the odds here, plus 130, that it's even going to go over 2.5.
If you want to work your way up the plus money from, most likely to least likely, plus 180, Cowboy by TKO KO. The narrative would be that Joe is retired because he can't take a hit anymore. He's going to get in there. He's going to get hit. He's going to go down. But that's not drawing from any history. It's been 3 years. He's been fightless. Honestly, we've seen Cowboy lose by TKO KO. Another reason to lean Joe by TKO at plus 400, right?
When I was watching Cowboys fight against Morono, he didn't even look like he had the power. He didn't look like he was going to be able to damage Joe in any way. I don't know what kind of shape Joe is in now after 3 years, but whatever he showed for me last time, Cowboy, doesn't look like he'd be able to pull off this KO. If you were going to take Cerrone by anything, maybe by points. I can't see him pulling off a sub or anything, but maybe by points he'd be able to get that done.
Yeah, if I had to lean towards the two methods that I like the best, it'd be Joe TKO or Cowboy by points would be the two props if I were just going to sprinkle a little bit on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, two of those plus Joe by points too. That's pretty
You
much
liking that
it.
We get a little foul action going and the 29-28 decision, that plus 5,100, man.
No, I don't think so. Two of these guys with 45 or 50 fights each. There's too much veteran experience here to get that kind of shenanigans going on. We're not going to see any of that here.
Draws are almost certainly shenanigans. Your gambling picks do include.
It does include Joe by KO. Let's go. We got a couple of by KOs here, and I'm going to be doing the Shed to Ed headhunting special with these. We're going to go with full unit plays on Buckley by KO, Lauzon by KO, Josh Emmett by KO. I'm headhunting this week. We're looking for some violence.
Let's go headhunting.
Let's go headhunting. We got Joaquin Buckley by KO. I really like this one over Albert Duraev. I know that Albert hasn't lost in 8 years, but Joaquin Buckley has power. He's a machine. He's going to be out throwing. He's going to be loading up and throwing. Every single punch is going to be an effort to be knocking him out. He's going to have to avoid this for 3 solid rounds here, and I don't know if Duraev will be able to do it. Buckley by KO, plus 285. I like the value here. Not just plus 170 to win, plus 285 by KO. If Buckley's going to win, it's going to be by KO. Besides that, we were just talking about Joe by KO. Let's go, Joe. And then we got Josh Emmett over Calvin Kattar by KO. I think this fight is going to end up with a KO. There is some plus money on Calvin Kattar by KO because he can win by points. He can win by KO. That's fine enough. But I like the value here now. Josh Emmett by KO. Besides that, I mean, we got the Cuban Missile Crisis. We got Julian Marquez by finish here. He has a 100% finish rate. So if he's going to win, you might as well take it by finish. So he's plus 150 to win, but plus 275 to win by finish. 100% finish rate. That means I'm going to take the value play on this one. Speaking of value plays, we got a few parlays here because we have very heavy favorites. We have 6 plays that we like under 1.4. So we're going to parlay Cody Stamann and Jasmine Jasudavicius together. So we're going to go minus 160. So I'm going to put down 1.6 units on this one to win 1 unit. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland and Adrian Yanez here, parlay them together. 1.35 units to win 1 unit there. And then I'll take Phil Haas and Kyle Dockhouse to win on another parlay. 1.16 units to win 1 unit on that one. We have the high-level fight between Damir Ismagulov and Garam. I know that Damir is about 20-1, something like that. But we've seen Garam's UFC debut against Mateus Gamrot, and that's a high-level fighter. That's a better fighter than Damir Ismagulov, so I think he can get it done again. So I'm going to take the plus money on the very talented fighter, Garam, last name.
I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing Garam last name fight.
We got Marla Oliveira here. This is the smelly dog of the week. We're going to see if she can pull this one out.
Nice. The dog of the week in Oliveira. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. It's Mateus Gamrot taking on Arman Tsarukyan. Main event next week. Looking forward to that one. And then July 2nd, Vegas pay-per-view, International Fight Week. Going to be a big card.
Yeah, we're going to be hyping up that July 2 pay-per-view for a bit, man. That one's going to be crazy.
I'm looking forward to the nerd fight, Tsarukyan Gamrot.
Yeah, that one should be a good time. I haven't looked at the card. I haven't broken down anything like that. But Tsarukyan and Gamrot, that one's going to be a good fight. So I'm excited for this week. You know, it's going to be a stacked card. Besides, like, maybe 2 or 3 fights at the end of the prelims, something like that. It's going to be talent. It's going to be skill. It's going to be a lot of violence heading our way this Saturday.
Just because the card doesn't have any heavyweights or even light heavyweights doesn't mean we're not getting any finishes. I think there's going to be quite a few finishes on this card.
I think it's going to be a lot of cases. You blink, you miss it.
That is very true. Don't blink, don't miss it.
Solid advice. Yeah, man. Besides that, let's get it done.
Let's go. If you will.
Let's go.